Hello, hello, hello. Pastor James here with you on this Monday, Thursday. Yes, it's the word that they use for Holy Week, Thursday. But today is that day that everyone recognizes that the Last Supper was had. This was the day that the disciples got together and sat together and supped together in the upper room, and Jesus washed their feet. Peter tries to keep Jesus from washing his feet, and we find all of these events in the Gospels in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and every one of their um, um, dialogues, their depiction is slightly different than the others. One of the things that we do find out is that in the midst of all of this, we know that Judas left the event and went on to finish the business that he had started with the leaders of the council, the leaders, the Pharisees, Sadducees, and he leaves to go do his thing, and Jesus begins to tell the disciples and gives them in final instructions and tells the disciples about uh, remembering him. And this is when we find the first communion, where Jesus says to eat of my body, which the bread represented his body and the wine represented his blood. And then we move on from the Last Supper, and Jesus and the disciples go into Gethsemane, the Garden of Gethsemane, and they are moving into the garden. And as they go into the garden, Jesus just picks out three disciples to go with him, which included Peter. And then once he gets there with the three of them, he's like, wait here and pray. Watch and pray. And so he goes a little further and he begins to go into his first dialogue with his father, and he begins to pray and pray intensely because he was overcome with grief. And it even says that in the text that he is overcome with grief. So he begins to pray. Of course, we know that he begins to pray, Lord, if this cup could pass from me, Lord, just, take it from me. But your will be done. And he comes back the first time and he sees the disciples, they're passed out, they're asleep. And he's like, if you could you not pray with me for just 1 hour? Could you not pray with me? The flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. And he goes and prays the second time. And pretty much the same thing. And I believe the fact that he prayed 3 times represents the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I also believe that it also represents the third day that it spoke prophetically to the third day that he was going to raise up. And so, yes, that number 3 was very significant, the fact that he did that 3 times. And the disciples were asleep every time. As he finished his conversation, we find out that there's a crowd of people coming, and guess what? Judas is leading the crowd of people. And it is on this night that Jesus was apprehended. Judas kisses him on the cheek to identify him, and we know what happens after that. But that's Thursday of Holy Week. It seems like the time goes so fast as we remember the events leading up to our Savior being crucified and the injustice that he suffered. Listen, in this day and time, we see so many injustices in our system, in our world. But I just want to encourage you and let you know that God is a just God. and he rewards us in the midst of unjust places, things that are going on that just don't seem right, that just seem like people just get away with things. Don't worry, people are not getting away with things. They will be judged, they will be dealt with, whether here on earth or whether in eternity. So I just want to encourage you today that no matter what comes your way, no matter what happens, listen, Jesus understood one thing. He understood that there was a reward on the other side for him completing his task. Listen, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're going through, there is a reward on the other side for you completing your task. All right. We love you. We appreciate you. And that's your Thursday of Holy Week, day 5. Talk to you later.